Mariners lose 5-3. They are swept by the Milwaukee Brewers. They fall to 8-11 on the season. Let's go over how it happened. It's a pretty simple one this time. Score tied 0-0. Our sweet Julio. Our sweet Julio hits a 2-run homer in the third inning off Eric Lauer to make it 2-0. The ball was absolutely roped. We see the debut of the trident. We can talk about that a little bit because there's got to be something positive to talk about, right? Marco absolutely shoves for 6 innings, but then the 7th, he gives up a couple of base runners. Matt Brash comes in, and the Milwaukee Brewers score 5 in the 7th to make it a 5-2 game. Mariners do get one back in the 9th on an RBI single from Jared Kelenic with the bases loaded. But with the bases loaded and nobody out also, before that, Cal Raleigh strikes out as a pinch hitter. Tommy LaStella pops out as meekly as you can to second base, and Jose Caballero pops out to end the game. All right, positives. Marco Gonzales was outstanding tonight. And I guess not tonight. It was in the afternoon, but that was really, really impressive. And congratulations to him on the newborn, and looked like he had that dad strength today, because that's as well as I've seen him pitch in a long time. No, didn't have elite velocity. He was stopping out at 88. The I throw 88 is no longer Dan Herron. It's Marco Gonzales. But his command was so good, and his change was so good, as it usually is, but especially his curveball today. And that's big for Marco Gonzales. If he can locate his curveball for strikes and also get the depth, and what we're talking about there is that late break where it's breaking not over the middle of the plate, breaking inside on right-handed hitters or breaking on that corner to lefties. That's massive. It's massive for Marco Gonzales. He has to have that in order to be successful. He ends up allowing the 2 runs. It's not indicative of how well he pitched. Over the first 6 innings, he was dominant. This was the Marco Gonzales that we saw like 2019, where it looked like he was on his way to being a long-time mid-rotation starter. Now he's the back-end guy, but they need him to pitch more like a mid-rotation starter, because their back-end guys, Chris Flexen, they need him, especially with Robbie Ray. Jared Dipoto comes out and says today that it's probably going to be the middle of May. Very doubtful, but it still tells you that's at least a month where you're not going to have Robbie Ray, your number 2 starter, pitching. So you need Marco Gonzales to not be your prototypical 5th starter, or you need Chris Flexen. One of the two's got to be better. I'm kind of betting on Marco based on what I've seen from Flexen this far, just to be honest with you. Other positives, Julio Rodriguez absolutely stung the baseball a couple times. Does get picked off. Zero worry about him. The 259 average and the 482 slugging percentage are both below probably what he wants. I know it's below what he wants. It's below what I want. He's playing really well again. Really well. He's going to be just fine. Congratulations to Jose Caballero for getting his first hit. Rings a double down the left field line. Jared Kelenic does drive in the run. Ty France gets he hits a double. Guess I should do both. Double. Should have been a single. Horrible play by their outfielder. I believe that was Owen Miller. But good for him. Gets the double. And the main positive from this game was I love that trident. I love it. Have fun playing baseball. Would have been nice if they could win with it, but it looked really cool. And it's fun to see teams having fun. Baseball is supposed to be fun. Sports are supposed to be fun. All right. Negatives. I don't even think Matt Brash was terrible in this game, to be honest with you. He does give up the 3 runs over an inning of work. Only has the 1 strikeout. It was a big strikeout, too. It got Christian Yelich and had a chance to get him out of the inning. But he does allow 4 hits. He didn't have his best command, even though he didn't end up walking anybody. Not very many of those hits were hit exactly stung. A couple in particular. Not his best game by any stretch of the imagination, though. Nope. And you do see that there are some growing pains for Brash. This is his first full year of being a reliever, and he's not a reliever who is being mixed in low leverage situations. This is now, as Scott Service said in his press conference, this is your pivot guy. This is a big opportunity because his swing and Smith stuff is so good. They are turning to him in those situations where runners are on to get out of those innings. It's a tough thing to ask for a young pitcher. Mostly has looked good this year. Mostly has looked good. Very small sample in both ends. But it's tough for me to be too concerned about a guy with that kind of swing and miss stuff, especially when those hits, like the Tellez hit was hit pretty hard. That scores a couple of runs to make it 5-2. The Terang one was a nice piece of hitting by him, but did get a little bit of exit velocity, I'm sure. But there were a couple balls that were just not hit hard whatsoever. And this leads to one of my biggest negatives. I need somebody in the middle infield to make a gosh damn play. Somebody, sometime to make a play. It's great that they've done a really nice job after that first catastrophe. That's not a word. Catastrophe of a series against Cleveland, where they just threw the ball over the infield. It's great that they're making the plays that they're supposed to make. Can somebody in the middle of the gosh dang infield make a play that they're not supposed to make? A play that is not easy to make. Can somebody take away a hit? Somebody. I just want one. They just aren't doing that. And it hurts your pitchers, and it adds up to what my biggest concern about this team has been is the middle infield and the defense. Obviously, I'm concerned about the fact that Colton Wong is like 5 for 50 or whatever the hell it is now. We'll talk about him in just a sec. But the defense really concerns me. It's great that Crawford has made the plays that have been hit right to him. Great. Not making errors is good, but they're not indicative of what makes good defense. At some point, somebody has to catch these little bleeders. Somebody has to do it. I just want to see it once. It's so frustrating. Are they easy plays? No, it's not supposed to be easy. Your shortstop, if he's not a great hitter, and JP Crawford is not a great hitter, is supposed to be a really, really good defender. He's not. He's not. Make a play. Somebody make a play. Please. And, once again, bottom of the order, pretty dang bad. Tom Murphy does finally get a hit again. I think that's 2 now. Hitting .087, .087, .130 average on base percentage slugging. And just got worked in a couple of at-bats. Did not make hard contact. The base hit was somewhat solidly struck. Beggars cannot be choosers. Jose Caballero does get the double. I'm sorry, folks. That is not the answer. Maybe a decent utility guy. But I'm cautioning you from being too excited about Jose Caballero based on 2 games. Has he been better than 1 for 8? Yeah, he hit the ball hard a couple of times after we watching that game. By the way, again, go Kraken. Thank you for saving me. But there's a reason why this guy has been organizational fodder up until this year. He's not an answer. He might be a back end guy. And Seattle Mariner fans, we love to do this. We love to fall in love with the backup quarterback. We love to fall in love with the backup goalie. We love to fall in love with the backup player who does well in limited time. Taylor Motter, all over again type of stuff. Don't do it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Caballero ends up having a very long, successful major league career. Please don't go crazy over 2 games. Please. But the fact he's hitting in that situation over Colton Wong, and I don't know if Colton Wong wasn't available today. I don't. But the fact they trust Jose Caballero more than Colton Wong right now, it's not good. It's not good, folks. And Listella's at bat. He comes up with the bases loaded with one out. Chance to make everybody shut the hell up for a week. Matt Bush did make a couple of decent pitches to him, but he just looks overmatched. And he's been clearly the best of their designated hitter options so far. Do you know how pathetic that is? Again, we talk about confirmation bias, and there's a reason it's a fallacy, because it leads to some poor decisions. But there's nothing that these dudes have shown me from the DH position that suggests to me that this is going to be an okay thing. Right now, there are 6 hitters that I have remote confidence in getting a hit. I have a little bit of confidence of JP Crawford in drawing a walk. I have no confidence in the 7 and 8 hitters. None. And let's give a little credit where credit is due to. Again, I talked about this before when the series started, and I'll talk about it again. The Milwaukee Brewers are a good baseball team. They played really well. They deserve credit. Give credit to the Brewers for sure. Give credit to the Guardians for winning that series. Give credit to the Angels for the series that they won. Other teams are trying to. You have to do it. You have to give credit where credit is due. But you cannot tell me you're impressed with what the Seattle Mariners have shown you outside of 3 games against a garbage baseball team. Take a look at what the Rockies are doing against the Pittsburgh flipping Pirates right now. I believe they have lost both games recently in that series, 14-3 against the Pittsburgh Pirates. You really impressed by that, folks? Huh? Shouldn't be. They did what they were supposed to do. I want to see them do something they're not supposed to do. I want to see the hard become something that they accomplish. Haven't done it very much over 19 games. Bad. Bad series. Bad series against a good team equals sweet. So Friday, we've got George Kirby against Steven Matz. Another lefty on the mound for the Cardinals. I don't like this team against left-handers very much right now. I should, but I don't. St. Louis has a really good lineup. Really good lineup. Scored 14 runs today. Kirby's going to have to pitch well. Kirby's going to have to pitch really well, because even though the St. Louis Cardinals pitching does not scare me at all, Steven Matz back end, Miles Michaelis back end, Jack Flaherty mid-rotation-ish, but certainly beatable. They're going to have to play really good baseball to win this series, and they better. Not for the fact of that they're getting close to being eliminated or any of that crap. It's obviously not what I'm saying. But I need them to play better so that I feel more confident about this team. It's for me. It's for me, the fan. It's for you, the fan. You want to feel good about the team playing well, don't you? Seems pretty logical. Seems like a good mental health choice. Bad. Bad series. Bring the Rockies back. Gosh, what a unbelievably bad roster. And again, the fact that I don't think the Rockies are even close to the worst roster in baseball right now, not even close to me to the second worst roster in baseball, even though the Nationals have played much better than expected, is so sad. So sad. But they took care of business in that one. They didn't come close to taking care of business in this one. Couple close games, but you got to win. Please hit like, please hit subscribe, please tell your friends. Really appreciate it. Follow me on Twitter at Crawford_MILB. Follow my Patreon, please. Please give that a look. Patreon.com/MLB Prospect Guides. Check out Sports Sometimes. I'm going to have a really cool guest on next week. I'm excited for it. We're going to be talking about movies with my good friend Christy Lemire. She's the best. And I'm very excited to see what topics she picks for the second half. But yeah, are you concerned? Like, you got to be a little bit, right? You got to be I know you're disappointed. You have to be disappointed. It would be stupid if you weren't disappointed. But at this point, basically 1/8 through the season, are you concerned?